It's tea time. Cheers. I'm Patricia Moore and I spill my tea from week to week. My tea is not gossip, but it is sharing the good news as I walk with Christ, as I grow closer to God, and I build my own relationship with God, which I want to share with you. All of my but God moments, all of the but God moments that you all have told me about, I am sharing with you because I want you to grow. I want you to strengthen your relationship. I want you to get to know God for yourself. And the only way for you to know him is to try him for yourself. You got to get all up in that thing, personal, transparent, all of that. You got to get to know him for yourself. All right, what are we talking about this week? I know you've heard this before, but you parents are mean. Y'all just some mean people. So if parents are mean, my question to you, do you think God is mean? I asked this question because I was talking to my son, my 9-year-old, and sometimes my 16-year-old. And I have rules in this house. And I'm not going to budge on the rules because I know one day they're going to be men and women. And what I don't want them to do is to get out in the world and don't know how to follow rules, don't know how to take care of themselves. See, they don't understand training happens at home. What seems crazy and mean to them at home, they will eventually appreciate when they get older. They'll look back and say, Mom gave me the tools to take care of myself, how to work with people, how to be organized. When we come home every day, I'm like, surrender your phone at 5:30. Yeah. I know you've been in school for 8 hours, but I need at least 20 minutes for the younger person, 20 to 30 minutes, 30 minutes to an hour, or however long it takes the oldest to do his homework. But I need that block of time for you to get your homework done. I don't care if you don't have homework. Read a book. Do something creative with your mind. I have a rule that everybody cleans up after themselves. I prefer them to eat in the kitchen, but sometimes they want to eat in other areas, which I have to follow behind them because they'll leave the crumbs, they'll leave the dishes, they'll leave the plates. And I'm like, hey, we don't have maids. This is a team effort. Everybody has to do their part, even to laundry. I've taught each one how to separate, put the clothes in the laundry. Like everybody, this is a team. I cannot do it by myself. But they think I'm mean if I see something hasn't been done or I enforce a rule. And I'm like, am I really mean? Or is it mean that you're not taking accountability for what you know you need to do? You don't like the fact that I'm telling you what you need to do, but you're not taking accountability. You're not taking responsibility to say, I haven't done what I need to do. These rules have been here since you have been born, right? This ain't nothing new. And then I had to look at my 9-year-old and say, well, baby, if you think I'm mean, do you think God is mean? Because please believe God is not changing. And he's not budging on what his word says. You want to know what his word says? The NLT. I'm going to start with NLT. It says, and have you forgotten the encouraging words God spoke to you as his children? He said, my child, don't make light of the Lord's discipline and don't give up when he corrects you. For the Lord disciplines those he loves, and he punishes each one he accepts as his child. As you endure this divine discipline, remember that God is treating you as his own children. Whoever heard of a child who was never disciplined by his father? If God doesn't discipline you as he does all of his children, it means that you are illegitimate and are not really his children at all. Since we respected our earthly fathers who disciplined us, shouldn't we submit even more to the discipline of the Father of our spirits and live forever? That's Hebrews 12, 5-9 NLT. It's right there in his word. I wouldn't be a good mother if I didn't operate in the same way my father operates with me. Sometimes I do look at God like, God, that was just mean. You didn't have to do that. You didn't even have to discipline me. And his discipline comes quick. But he knows that it's good for me. It's good for my growth. It's good to keep me on the right path. And that's the thing that I have to explain to my children. I have to bring out the word like, listen, I got to go through the same discipline. When I don't do what I'm supposed to do, God corrects me. I get the consequences really quick. And then I learn, you know what? God isn't mean. I'm just not doing what he asked of me. I'm not doing what I'm supposed to do. So it's not really the parent mean. It's really me not following, not listening, not executing what I know. He already told me. My kids, like I said, from birth, they already know because you start training them when they're young. That's the same thing with God with us. From birth, we are trained or should be trained. Listen, parents, our only job is to train our kids up. All the other stuff we do is extra, like giving them stuff, gadgets, and taking them places. God didn't ask for that. He said train them up, discipline them, because you don't want them to be illegitimate kids. So anything else outside of training them up, yes, I give them food and a place to live. That's just me being extra. That's just me giving them what I never had. But the most important part is the discipline. What I'm putting inside of them that they're going to need as disciples when they grow up. Because that's what we're called to be. The TPT says fully embrace God's correction as part of your training. For he is doing what any loving father does for his children. For who has ever heard of a child who never had to be corrected? We all should welcome God's discipline as the validation of authentic sonship. For if we have never once endured his correction, it only proves we are strangers and not sons. Hebrews 12, 7 through 8. That's the TPT, the Passion Translation. I'll go a little bit further. Another scripture says, those who spare the rod of discipline hate their children. I didn't say that. The word does. NLT. Proverbs 13:24. Those who spare the rod of discipline hate their children. Those who love their children care enough to discipline them. I don't care if you think I'm mean. I'll be mean all day long. Because at the end of the day, in this house, we gonna serve the Lord. In this house, when God is correcting me, I'm gonna follow suit with the Father and what he does for me with my children. Okay? The TPT says, if you withhold correction and punishment from your children, you demonstrate a lack of true love. Wow. So prove your love and be prompt to punish them. That's Proverbs 13:24 TPT. I am not talking about child abuse. I am not talking about hurting your kids. What I am talking about is correction. What I am talking about is accountability. What I am talking about is not caring with them calling you mean or whatever. I'll be mean as long as I know that I'm doing what God has asked of me. I'm not doing anything outside of what God does to me and for me. This is for your good. Everything God does when he disciplines us is for our good. Why? Because he loves us. And if you don't understand that, go to God and say, Lord, I think it's mean when you. Can you please help me understand why you would allow certain things? Because I know you felt that way before. I know there's been some outcomes, some circumstances where you just were like, God, that hurt. And I thought that was really, really mean. But God will reveal to you why he had to correct you, why he had to discipline you in that way. He's a good father. And when he sees that we're not in alignment, that we're not taking responsibility for the things we should be doing, when we're not holding ourselves accountable to the standards that he has, yes, he will correct us like any good parent would. And it's not mean, it's love. All right, y'all. Cheers.